What's up, beautiful people? Hit that like button and subscribe. Welcome back. We are here with Prince Royaire and Lady Diva to recap episodes 4, 5, and 6 of Tia's My Next Act. Now, y'all know we've been missing in action, okay? But listen, we ain't fell off all the way. We still caught on to Tia. I seen somebody earlier say, are we done with Tia? We not done with Tia. Not just yet. We still with her, but we are back. What's going on, Auntie? Welcome back.
Welcome back. Listen, we not done, but we told y'all with these two shows hanging there with us, but we'll get our life together. Come Married to Medicine and The Real Housewives of Atlanta. We will do better. We will do better. We will have a set schedule. But in the meantime and in between time, this is what we're doing. Okay. Come on. This is what we're doing. So we're doing all of these episodes together, which, to be honest with you, when it comes to Tia Mowry, My Next Act, it's fine that we mush all these together. Mm-hmm. It is what it is with this show.
Big episode anyway, so.
Well, we're going to go ahead and get right into it, Roya. We'll start out with episode number 4. It was called All Is Well. Now, what I will say I did like about this episode before I get into our first scene or whatever is, I do like that they address the whole breast cancer awareness.
Yes.
Because, we really have to stay up on our yearly preventative exams and make sure that we are taking care of ourselves. So I'm going to give them kudos to that for addressing that and for her being brave enough to share her own personal journey with us on the show. I commend her for that, and I'm glad she did it. So she talked about, because she's a working mother. She still got to work every day, and she talked about doing remote auditions. Ever since COVID, the world has become remote friendly, and they're learning that things that we used to have to drive to, sit in a room, wait for our turn. Now you can simply do these things online. They even have, some doctors, they have telehealth visits where you don't really have to go into the office. You can do, if you want therapy, you could do it online with a therapist, or you can go in. So there's options. So there's options that we're learning is remote auditions. And she did remote audition. And, she was saying how when she was done, she was saying how, even with her, she was saying how she still gets nervous. She really doesn't like auditioning, and we'll learn later on. I want to say in this episode, or one of them, we'll learn later on that when it came to Sister, the show that kind of launched her and her twin sister career, they didn't really have to audition for that. The show was made for them based with their, with those two together in mind. So, she said, a rejection, it still hurts her. So, she's human is the point I'm trying to say, right? She's human. So she said also she's not good with technology, neither am I. She said that, her son and her daughter really kind of help out with technology, because once the remote audition was over, she was trying to figure out how to get out the Zoom. And I hear you, girl. I'm always like, am I out? What's going on? Like, get this ain't out of here. Get me out of here before I say another word. I don't want to say something and I'm still on this remote call, right? So, just, that piece with that. So, and then, so Sierra, who is her assistant, is a huge part of this show. And I'm trying to give Sierra a chance. I really haven't connected with her like that yet, but she's here to stay. So it is what it is. But Jerome, her cousin, honey, if it wasn't for Jerome, I think I would have gave up on Tia Mowry's My Next Act.
Canceled. Because Jerome is in the house, you better watch your mouth. Period.
Period. Jerome is he made the show for me. I like him. He just seems like he has this really genuine, nice personality. And you could tell they love each other, and you could tell that he cares about his cousin. And I just like him, right? So so he came in. They talked pretty much about remote auditions and just everything that would help me out, Roya. Everything that T is kind of
about
going through. So what did you think about that particular episode?
That first scene with, Tia talking about, the situation with with the breast cancer scare, thankfully she does not have breast cancer after going through everything. The auditioning thing, I think it is so, I love that Tia is showing that even though she's a seasoned actress, because she's definitely a seasoned actress, she's gone from Sister Sister to The Game to Twitches, her and Tamara has so many movies on Disney Channel. They have partnered, with Disney with making those movies. She had the show on Nick at Night. I mean, she's had so many shows. So to see that she is so seasoned but still has to do these auditions and still gets nervous and things like that, to me it shows the true passion that she still is in love with this thing that she calls a job, even though we call it acting. It looks fun. It seems like anybody can do it, but it is, nice to see the reality of it, that the pressure of being denied or being turned down, for something that may not fit for you, it's a real thing. So you just don't think about that stuff when you're the one watching the camera or the show or whatever it may be. So to experience it, I loved, her being open and honest about that. I need y'all to step it up with the technology. Now, y'all are not that much older. I think y'all can get with it for sure. Come on, Zoom. Leave the room. That's all you got to do. I think Sierra and Jerome, they have made this show. Not even just Sierra and Jerome, really her friend Natasha as well. I mean, they carried the show for real, for real. If you really think about it, Tia has not been independent in this show at all. Somebody has been with her through the whole entire step of the way from episode 1 up until now. So, I don't care for Sierra, but she is really carrying the show along with Jerome and their quirky, goofy ways. So, yeah.
We'll get to it about how I feel about them, but okay, if they carry the show for you. All right. So listen, Tia goes to her doctor's appointment and she gets her mammogram, her yearly mammogram, right? Jerome babysits Cairo at this time, and Jerome and Tia speaks, to Cairo and saying that Cairo, she's a little bossy. Cairo is absolutely adorable.
Gorgeous.
And I feel like she is a good mix between Tia and her ex, right? Corey. I see both of them in her, but she just has this really cute little innocent personality. And I like it. So they introduce and they start to talk about Cairo wanting to act. And Tia kind of talks about, how her mother was her momager, so to speak, and she would rather that her mother would have just been her mother. She talked about how, they was in Texas and then they moved to LA. And I think shortly after they got to LA, they got Sister Sister, which of course changed their life, right? And, she said, but when you're a child actor like that, the people are treating you almost like adults because you're so responsible because it's a job. And she said we was responsible for making people laugh. And she said we was given allowance, but she said that she felt like they lost a lot and they missed out on a lot because of the simple fact that she didn't get to go to prom. Oh, was that Tia when she was younger?
That is Tia when she was younger, and this is Tia. Isn't this adorable?
Adorable. Adorable.
She looks a lot like Taj too, the other brother. I mean, oh my gosh, that is beautiful.
But I mean, that is her twin. I mean, the girl, and again, you know me, I'm a sucker for when the kids are on the show and we get to know the kids. I'm loving getting to know Cairo and her little personality and how you can tell like she loves her mom.
Yes.
She loves her mom. And Tia is she's another one. I really feel she's a good mom. And I really feel, we got to give Corey credit too, right? Like I really feel like together they're just good parents.
They are beautiful parents, a beautiful family, and I think though they had their struggles, they've done a wonderful job, as parents so far, I remember their son when they had their reality show with Tia and Tamara, here they are all together. Just a beautiful family, a beautiful mix of each other. Just beautiful.
Too bad those two didn't make it. I don't know if counseling could have helped them. Sometimes when you're in relationships and you let things get so far out of hand, it's
You can't
almost
pull
like
it back.
you
Yeah.
can't pull back. And y'all just, yeah, it's just sad. I wish it could have been a different outcome for them, but here we are. We're in this chapter of her life, and I do enjoy watching it and seeing it with her. But what did you think? Like, I thought when Jerome was babysitting Cairo, it was the cutest thing like ever. Uh, he just got this really great calm personality, and
Yes.
he just let her do her thing and was like, okay, you're amazing. He just let her be her.
And let her be her. It was so natural. It was authentic. You
Mhm.
could tell that she was comfortable. She wasn't, because, sometimes, from what we are watching, Tia told us this is the first time that Cairo has really met Jerome and been around Jerome. So
Mhm.
for her to have built this connection in such a short amount of time, it was just so beautiful the way they played together. It was just a beautiful scene. I loved it. And she is truly her mother's child. Spoiled, bossy, in control, and know what she wants. She is a beautiful little girl. So cute.
Beautiful little girl. She is adorable.
Hmm.
So next thing we know, Tia talks to Charles. Um so Tia had a conversation with Charles on the phone. Charles is really feeling Tia. And I think, see, this is why I personally always say, Royer, that when you break up with someone, especially if you was in a long-term relationship, to me, my opinion, you should definitely at least take a year just to figure out your life and figure
Hmm.
out yourself. We'll find out later when we talk about the other episodes, but I just feel like, as a result of her friends, Natasha, Sierra, Alina, whatever her name is, I
Hmm.
feel like she felt obligated to go out there and start dating and not quite sure if she was ready because Charles, when from the day he saw Tia, he was on go. He was ready to just be able to. But they did set up a second date, so I thought that was a nice thing. And they kind of, was having a conversation with, Cairo, and she asked Cairo, like, do you want to act? And, Cairo was like, yeah, she wanted to act. So Cairo, so now they're going to gear towards, Cairo and her acting. So, and then we got this scene where Tia's in the car with her sister Sierra, and, they call with the mammogram results. And when they called with the results, they said, it's abnormal. We got to do a biopsy. And so what I didn't know is that I want to say, I want to say her grandmother 5 years ago died of cancer. The
Hmm.
auntie died of cancer 1 year ago. And so she was like, I'm thinking about myself. I'm thinking about the kids. I'm thinking about if something happens to me, then what happens to them? I mean, I know they have their father, but that's what her thought process was. She automatically went all over the place and she started crying in the car, and Sierra was telling like calm down. And I kind of get it, right? Because it's like you get a phone call, they tell you your results are abnormal, and you're like, your mind automatically goes wild, and then you got to get this biopsy. So it's like your mind just goes all over the place. What did you think about those scenes?
Tia and this date, I said from jump I wasn't really feeling Charles like that, and I didn't think he was the one, but Tia is very gullible. She is new to this. And so she's trying to pitter patter her feet in the dating pool. So if she feels that Charles is the one for this time, then go Charles. In regards to Cairo and preparing for her acting, debut, I think that, you know, Tia, in my opinion, would love for her daughter to follow her in her footsteps, because who doesn't want their child to follow them in their footsteps and be just as great as them? But at the same time, I see that Cairo just has such a free spirit. She's so young and she's still kind of like growing in herself, if you may. So, we're going to see with this acting situation and how that works out. Um, being in the car and receiving the news about having to come in for the biopsy. I personally have never had any kind of experience with a doctor calling and saying, "Hey, we need you to come back in." So I cannot imagine how that feels. It does instantaneously put you in a mind frame of, "Oh my God, like the worst of the worst is about to happen," because we always think the worst before we think the best. You know, as you talked about her grandmother having cancer, you know, losing Jerome's mom, you know, due to cancer as well, that was really big for her. You know, she talked about how close she was with Jerome's mom. You know, we kind of see that, you know, right now she's kind of struggling in her relationships with her own family. So she can't reach out to someone like Jerome's mom like she would normally do. So I completely understand feeling that loss and feeling like you don't really have someone to lean on. And then especially with someone who has been through that. I think it's a little easier to talk to someone when they have that experience versus someone who doesn't, or, you know, really can't tell you what it's like. But you know, that instantaneous of thinking about your children, that's why I really know that Tia is an awesome mom, because it's that right back to my kids. You know, I do everything for my kids, and yes, they have a dad, but my kids are everything to me. I am everything to them. So, you know, it definitely puts you in that reality check of, you know, stay up on your health, make sure you're taking care of yourself, you know, make sure that you're loving on your kids, make sure that you're present and in the moment for anything that you do, because you never know when the last moment will be. So I enjoyed that scene, and I love how Sierra as well was that calming force of trying not to make Tia think the worst of everything right in that moment. And I can say that is a good friend right there. Somebody that's going to calm you down, you know, not allow you to think the worst, but still allow you to be in your feelings about what's going on.
I appreciated Sierra in that scene.
Yeah.
Cause I do get it, cause Tia was on the ledge.
I mean, you would have thought she had breast cancer already. Like, oh.
But I mean, I do know the feeling of like just being like overwhelmed with a phone call like that saying you have to come in and get more tests or we saw something. So
and those turnaround dates aren't close by. Like, it's not like you get your call and then you're in the next day to get your test, right?
No, it's not. Okay. It's not. Unless maybe you Tia, because you know when you celebrities like they get you right away. When you the regular folk, they be like, our next opening is next month, and you be like, my breast's gonna be in my hands by then. Like, are y'all kidding me? Like, listen, okay. But I mean, but her overall sharing of this experience, I appreciated it. I really did. So I
in October, because that was during Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It was that last week, so they planned that very well.
They did. So now Sierra has the idea. Let me take her to lunch with the girls so that we can discuss this more and have her calm down. So with Sierra, it was Tia, and it was Natasha, and Alina. And Alina actually at 29 was diagnosed with breast cancer. So it was really especially important, I think, for her to be there to let people know. Don't let someone tell you, oh, you too young to have this, that, or that. If you feel something is wrong with your body, roll with that and tell them, like, no, you need to test, you need to do this so we can figure out what is going on with my body.
Yeah.
So then, you know, they had a great conversation, and Alina said, you know, I'm going to be here for you. I'm going to walk you through this. I know where you're at. But they all reiterated at that lunch, like, don't take your mind down a road and you don't even know that's the road we need to be down yet. Yeah. So I was very proud of them, and I truly enjoyed that conversation. And then when she talking about, oh, I feel something, they was like, girl, you don't even know your own body. That's not a lump. I was like, this girl right here.
Those girls, honey.
But I gave her grace because I understood that she was just emotional about it. Especially when you have a lot of family members in your family that actually had cancer and died of cancer. So I could get you being overwhelmed with that particular, you know, situation. Mm-hmm. So what was your thoughts on that?
I love the lunch scene yet again. The friends showing up for Tia. I can say that about that she has some really good friends that show up for her when she needs it the most, and we see that later on down in the other episodes as well. Shout out to Elena for coming through and for being open and willing to talk about her experience. I can only imagine how hard that is. Having to relive something as traumatizing as breast cancer, and then especially at 29 years old. I mean, that's from my experience unheard of. I've never heard anybody my age having breast cancer at such a young age. So for her to be there to walk with Tia through this, to help Tia understand, don't be worried pretty much until you need to be worried, if you may, but still, be concerned, do your research, understand what's going on, but don't stress yourself out. So amazing friends, it's nothing like a good group of girlfriends or boyfriends or whatever they may be that can come together and cheer you up in your time of need. It's nothing like that. So I love that. That's one thing that I love about her show is, even though we love the mess, I love the positivity. I love to be able to see that, because in real life, I do have friends that we can come together when situations are going on, and we can really sit and talk and work whoever is up, down, bringing them back to the level that they need to be at. And so that's nice to see that we can do it without bickering and fussing and fighting and, talking about each other. So love that scene.
Yep, I agree with you. So Jerome and Tia kind of talk. And that's like you said, Jerome pretty much, said he gets it because his mother and his father died of cancer.
Yes. Ooh.
So that was insanity.
Yeah.
So then Tia actually gets her biopsy, and then she partners with the Pink Journey Foundation, which I thought was great. And Elena is coming to kind of talk with her. And they're going to do, when they do the event, they're going to have the mobile mammogram van, so that people on the spot can actually go on the van and get a mammogram, which is really a good thing. And also this foundation, and I want to look them up later, because they also mention how they don't even ask anybody for insurance.
Insurance, yes. I thought that was amazing. That's a blessing.
Isn't that a blessing? Yeah. So the fact that they go and they bring the screening to you, so you can't, like, if you don't necessarily have a ride or whatever else the case may be, you don't have insurance, it's all good because they're bringing a van to you and you can get said mammogram right there on the spot. So that's a great thing, an amazing thing. And I like the fact that she, kind of, is signing up and partner with that.
I thought that was beautiful, for her to take the time out to really, talk to other people, get to know and see who she can help, because even though she may not be experiencing the actual situation, there are others that are, and there are others who may not even know that they have breast cancer and need to know. So the fact that she is spreading the word, getting into women's health, that's been really, really big in the last couple of years, is women's health, really taking care of your body, knowing your body, things like that. It's good to see this another celebrity is taking a part and sharing that across the world. So shout out to Tia, shout out to the girls. That was an amazing,
thing to do. Yes. So her and Charles go on a second date. I thought the second date was cute. They was in a restaurant. He sent her roses after the first date, and he joked with her, like, she thanked him for the roses, and he said, come on, hit it right here, give me a kiss. And he talked about his daughter. He talked about how he likes family, loves family. The daughter lives with the mother, but he's highly involved, and his daughter is his everything. And I thought that was a really great scene. And so Jerome babysits Cairo again. Thank God Jerome was in the building. Okay.
Jerome in the house.
So, and his daughter, Charles' daughter, is 7. And they just kind of share their likes and dislikes. He said when he works out, he listens to Afro beats. She talked about her working out. I thought it was a great second cute date where
Mhm.
we got a little bit more information about each other. What are your thoughts?
I agree. For me, it was screaming thirsty. I'm desperate for a woman, but whatever. It is nice to see though that we have a nice man out here who is taking care of his children, who do, care for the children. There are so many out here that have children and don't take care of them and don't care for them. So it is nice to see that. It is nice to see that he is active, he's working out, he has a life of his own. So from the outside looking in, it doesn't look like that he's trying to pick up off of her life and make himself somebody, but he seems to really be into Tia. At the end of that date, they did walk out holding hands together, so a second date of holding hands. I'm not really, for me personally, I'm not a touchy-feely type of person, especially when I'm first getting to know you, especially. So it was a bit much for me, but overall it was a nice date. He was such a gentleman the whole entire time. He was very respectful, and I think that's the issue. Tia wants a bad boy. She don't want a gentleman that's respectful and is going to treat her right.
Well, damn.
Those
Well,
are good words though.
listen, and that could be 100% true and word to that. Okay. So, yeah, maybe that's the case. Cause I don't think, listen, nothing is too much unless it is too much for one of the individuals within that unit. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if you're okay, the other person's okay, well, hold hands first day, second day, hey, hold hands. You're okay, the other person's okay, y'all kiss on the first date or whatever y'all do, that's your business. As long as both people in that unit is okay with whatever goes down. I thought that this man, we seen some crazy stuff on TV, and I would say I feel like he was very respectful, carried himself well, and I feel like, every date, like he had a thought process, he planned it out. I really feel like, he liked and respected Tia. That's my thoughts on that. Now, Jerome and Tia, Tia comes back home, and Jerome is there. He had a whole ice cream bar set up for him, Tia, and Cairo. And I thought that was super cute. I just like Jerome, okay? So I thought that was super cute, and they was kind of talking, and in the midst of that, she got the phone call from a doctor saying that the testing came back from the biopsy and all as well. I thought that was great, and she was super happy about that, and it was like a weight off for her. And I just think her interaction with Cairo, that's another showstopper and show stiller. Their interactions are super, super cute. I love them. And thank God Cairo wanted to be on the show with her, or I don't know what Tia would
be watching.
She wouldn't have no show. She would have no show. Cairo is the cutest. I think it's a good thing. And like I said, I love Jerome being there. And then I might as well go ahead and add this last event for this particular episode is they actually go to the breast cancer event. Tia, Selena, and Sierra, and they're stuck on the elevator. They're stuck on the elevator. So it ends, episode 4 ends with them being stuck on the elevator. So your thoughts on those last couple of scenes?
Last couple of scenes, that last scene of Tia getting the great news that, everything was benign, everything is good. That was beautiful. Jerome being there yet again to support Tia with the ice cream social, just lifting her spirits. I think that's the beautiful thing about their relationship is that he really knows Tia. Like he knows her personally and deep. He knows what makes her happy, what makes her smile, what makes her feel good. And for her to be going through everything that she's going through right now is nothing better than having that support system that knows you for real, and is able to do the things, that makes you happy. So I love that he was able to do the ice cream social. I love that everything came back well. Like you said, Cairo is another star making the show. Thank God for her, and thank God to Corey for letting her be on the TV because he did not have to say yes to that. So shout out to Corey as well. But as you said, we're going into episode 5, Child Star. Okay, that's what it's entitled. So we're picking up at episode 5. We have Elena, Tia, and Sierra stuck in the elevator, late to the speech for the women's health program. They're panicking. The fire department finally shows up and says, "Calm down, be quiet, we coming." Okay, so the fire.
Calm down.
The people be being extra sometimes. So they just
I don't like being stuck on no elevator either. I would have been losing it.
I've never been stuck on the elevator, and I don't like tight spots, so I know I probably would have been too.
Losing it, okay? Losing it.
Yes, so Tia shows up to the event finally. She comes in. You can tell she's very nervous, but still excited to talk about what she has to say. So she opens up about, her breast cancer scare and how it made her want to come and speak to other women about being aware of their health, making sure that they're getting their mammograms, making sure that they're just getting themselves checked out altogether. And what I loved about this event, Diva, is that it wasn't just about breast cancer. It was just about women's health altogether. So high blood pressure, breast cancer, heart disease, all of those things that women, specifically of color, in my opinion, really experienced heavily in our community. And so it was good for her to have those conversations with the ladies. Elena was there as well to add her little 2 cents in. She shared that at 29, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. She's still standing and fighting strong. And so that was beautiful to see. So as the tail end of that ended, Tia was taken on a tour of the breast cancer bus. She was able to see everything. And Diva, I thought it was amazing how they have kind of literally put a small breast cancer office in this bus. They had the machinery, they had everything there, and all you got to do is show up, walk through. You don't have to have insurance, like you said, just really taking care of the community. So I love that. It was a nice surprise to see Charles in the crowd. Charles was sitting out in the crowd, stalking us yet again, showing up unannounced. He was not invited. Was he invited?
I'm gonna wait till you finish because I'm seeing Charles differently.
Y'all, Charles was not invited. So just imagine. People, listen. Imagine you are at your speech. You're at an event. You're doing your thing, and the man that you just started dating popped up all of a sudden. It's giving weird, but it could be just me, okay? So as Tia is getting her tour, Charles pops up and she says, "Oh, wait a minute, I see a friend, I'll be right back." And so she hops over to Charles and, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you showed up. It was so good to see you. Thank you for coming." He said that she did an amazing job, that she's so smart and talented, just being such a gentleman. Now, I will give Charles that. He is just an amazing gentleman, and that's hard to come by. And maybe that's just my problem. We like a rough dog.
Y'all used to ghetto.
Getting down, with ditties. No, take that back. No. We don't get down with Diddy over here. I'm sorry, but that's what the people used to say. So I was just going off of what they used to say. But, Tia and Charles caught up. She gave him a tour of the building, and so that ended that scene. Your thoughts on that scene, Auntie?
First of all, I do listen. The elevator, I told you, if I'm stuck in the elevator, like I'm passing out, like I'm falling out too, right? Because Alina, she wasn't having it. She was not good at all. That's why when it came time for her to speak on that podium, she barely had 2 words to say. Because she probably was still traumatized from the fact that she was stuck in that elevator. Now, when it comes to Charles showing up, listen, y'all kill me. If it was somebody you liked and they was popping up everywhere, you'd be like, "Oh my God, he really likes me. He's showing up. He's here. He's there. He's this, that, the other." If you didn't want this man to pop up and show up, then you don't tell him about your upcoming events, where you're going to be at. It's not like he was stalking her social media and was like, "Oh my God, she's going to be at this breast cancer thing. Let me just go there and show up." No, she told him the business, and that's how he got there. So he decided to come through and support. And so there he was. He came through and he supported. So we're not going to do Charles like that and act like he's some stalker. No, he got the information. He showed up and he was there and he supported. And listen, she the one that messed up because the lady from the breast cancer event was trying to talk to her and she cut her off mid-sentence. So oh my God, I see a friend. Let me go over here. She cut her off mid-sentence. I was like, where did you do that? She ran over to Charles. So for her to act like she wasn't really checking for him like that, she sure did cut. The lady didn't even know what to do. She started just walking with Sierra. She sure did cut that woman off mid-sentence and ran over to Charles, okay? And told him she was happy to see him, glad he stopped by, showed up, and was supporting her at her event. And he told her that, you know what, he said, you did good. What the speech you gave was good. He admired her for that. Okay, so let's not do that to Charles.
Monique said, well, the streets are saying that she wants the same sex. Now, this is what the streets are saying, not me.
I don't know.
And I've shared that with you before.
Did you? I probably forgot.
I said, I think, Tia wants the girls now. I think she's done with it's just, I feel that she is on my team. I feel like she plays for my team. So moving on into the next scene.
Yes.
Tasha K said it, not us. Okay, that's what Tasha K said, but allegedly. So we're in the scene. We're in the kitchen now at Tia's house. And as you have always said, Diva, I love Tia's home. It is just so clean.
I want it.
Beautiful and airy. Yes. I just love it. I love it.
Not clutter, no
clutter. It's just so open and just beautiful. I love it. So we're in the kitchen with Sierra. And so Sierra, asks, Tia, I seen that Charles was at the event yesterday. Did you invite Charles? And Tia said, no, I didn't invite Charles at all. I told Charles about the event, but I did not tell him to come. You just cannot invite yourself to places, Diva. Just because I tell you about something don't mean you're just supposed to pop up and show. Hashtag. It's giving, he doing a little too much. So, Sierra, asks, was Tia in love? Does she feel like she's in love with this guy? Do you, feel him? And Tia said, no, I'm not in love with him, but I do like him. He's fun, he's cool, he's funny. So in the midst of them talking, Charles sends a text to Tia. And so she gets all geeked up about it. She's just like, oh, just super excited. And so Sierra's thinking that, Charleston sent a little something, that he should not be sending. Well, meanwhile, Charles sends a text about another date. He is totally falling for Tia. How you falling for somebody after 2 dates? I don't know, but okay. He said he's totally falling for Tia, and he's trying not to show it, but he's hard pressed, and he wants her to, dress down. I mean, that's what it was giving. He wants her to dress down, and come to another date. And so she was excited about, what kind of date it was going to be because, he said, don't dress so formal, come comfortable, and be ready. So she is ready to go to that. Tia likes surprises, so she's excited about what may happen. Kai walks in the room, and Tia asks Cairo, if she wants to act. And so Cairo says she is open to acting, it is something that she wants. And so Tia says, she is open to the possibility to allowing her children to do whatever they would like to do. Her mom, was really, Tia and Tamara wanted to act, and so when they became actresses, their mom really allowed them to follow in every footstep that they wanted to do. And so she wants to be the same mother to Cairo as her mother was to her, as far as allowing her to be open to doing different things of that nature. So, anything on that?
First of all, y'all gonna stop being so hard on Charles, okay? I'll just say this. I think that nothing is wrong if you meet somebody and you really, like them and you're expressing how much you like them. I don't think he was overbearing, and if she was so pressed about him coming to the thing and she thought it was weird and out of control and out of pocket, don't be running up to him, hugging him, and being super excited with a smile from ear to ear that he showed up and he was supporting you. Okay. Now, when it comes to Cairo in this acting, we're gonna see what we see when we see it. When you get to that scene, I'll talk more about it.
Yes.
But I'll leave it for where it's at right now. Yes, making breakfast was cute. And like I said, I think, and I'll talk about this more when we get there too. I think my issue was Sierra and Natasha. They teamed too much when they got their opinions about the dating. I think they doing too much. I think it's too much. I think it's over the top. I don't think anything that Charles did with this dating situation in Tia was anything where I consider stalkerish, not normal, or just out of pocket or out of line. I think it was more Tia, and we'll get there. But go ahead.
Okay. So before we ended out that last scene in the kitchen, Tia, she talks about Cairo having a lot of personality. She thinks she'll be great. And so they have a little practice scene, in the kitchen, and Cairo doesn't do too well. So we're going to see how Cairo does, going forward. So we're in the kitchen again with Tia and Jerome. And so Tia is on the phone with her manager, Adam. Adam is trying to help Tia with finding Cairo's, some small career positions in the acting world. Jerome said that Cairo was very driven and bossy, and that, it was hard to get her to practice her lines. But, he still thinks that she has the potential and the personality to be an actress. Let's see. Tia does not want to be Cairo's manager. She does not want to be a momager. This scene, Tia really opened up about her relationship growing up as a child star with her mom. Tia said that her mom was a lioness in this, momager, TV industry, this entertainment industry of it all. And she said you definitely need that in the industry that she was in. But she wished that she would have had a little bit more of a mom than a momager, in the moments that she really needed her mom. I am assuming, because Tia was not really specific in anything, but I'm assuming in the moments where she really preferred to have a mother point of view and a standpoint, she had more of a momager point of view and a standpoint. And that was something that she did not want for Cairo. She said, that her mom let her play softball. Her mom let her do anything that she felt that she could put her mind to. And Tia wanted to be that same type of mom, but she just doesn't want to have the control momager position over Cairo. She wants to keep their relationship, in a loving mommy-daughter place, if you may. So, anything on that?
I mean, I thought it was a nice scene, and I like any mother or any parent who can embrace, just like your kid be who they are.
Mm-hmm.
That I think your child will have the best life ever if you just allow your child to be who they are. Go to school and do whatever it is they want to do. Mm-hmm. If they want to go to trade school, I'm not going to talk my kid into no career.
Yeah.
Because this is your life. So, and I even told my son now, you're going to school for XYZ, but at any given point, if you change your mind and you want to do something else, I'm going to be okay with that. Because I don't want you to be miserable your whole life because you think you have to be this over that.
Yeah.
I'd rather you be and do what you really want to do, and it's going to make you happy. And as long as you can eat dinner at night with whatever it is that you do,
mm-hmm.
I'll be able to pay your bills because I ain't going to be here forever. So listen, as long as whatever it is, you're able to do what you need to do, then I'm good. I'm happy. Yeah. So I appreciated that. And I appreciate her embracing, no matter what Cairo wants to do or her children want to do, she's going to be there for them.
Yes. I'm really curious. And I think this is one of those things of Tia not really being open a lot about or honest 100% about what's going on, because from what we see on social media, Tamara and their mother have a beautiful relationship. We see, what I see anyways, when Tamara is posting that she posts her mom pretty often in pictures and things like that. We don't see that from Tia. And so I'm really kind of still trying to wonder where this rift in the family has kind of fallen off, because you're not close with your twin sister, you're not close with your mom. A little bit in this episode you talk about not really being close in your family. Do you see anything that she's not sharing with us that you may have kind of a guesstimation on? Maybe
she's not being 100% authentic, right? Because we can, even if she don't share with us, you can't tell me, no, we don't know how many, I don't know how many episodes this is, and I don't know how many more she got left. But what we do know, it seems like her sister, and you had a whole breast cancer scare. You didn't even call your sister,
right? Or your mom?
Or your mom? Something is not right. Something is amiss. Something is going on. And if you really want to do reality TV, tell us that. Tell us that. Because you had a serious situation and you did not call nobody in your family. The first thing I would have been on the horn to my sister, like, yo, they just told me I gotta do a biopsy.
Yes.
No, but you was Sierra, and I don't, and nothing against these other individuals in her life, but at least a FaceTime or a phone call with the sister, the mother, the brother, somebody. That's the piece of this that is having me give this whole thing the side eye. She's not talking. And even if you want to talk, remember she did slip up, and then she cleaned it up later on, saying that how her and his sister are not close. Then she cleaned it up and tried to say, like, close in proximity. Girl, bye. Y'all got more money than the average person, I would say. Literally. So even if your sister is far, you can get to her quicker than maybe some. And your job is different. It's not like you work every day 9 to 5 and you got to wait for your vacation time to go see your sister.
Yeah.
So I don't like that they're not addressing the elephant in the room.
Yeah. It's giving that mom has a stronger relationship with Tamara and Tia's jealous about it. That's what it's giving. That's just what I feel.
Oh, you said jealous. Oh, good gosh.
I mean,
I do feel like she is perhaps probably tighter with the mom. But I don't know why I don't want to use the word. I don't want to use the word jealous because Tia don't seem to have a relationship with her family, period.
But there's got to be some reason behind that. And maybe jealous is not the word, but in my opinion, with Tia and Tamara's relationship, I think that there are things that both of them struggle with each other, if you may. Where, for example, I think Tamara really struggled with seeing Tia's career rising as hers was just kind of sitting at one place, if you may, for a long time. If you really think about it, we really didn't see Tamara in much of anything until The Real came out. And then we started seeing Tamara on a regular basis day to day. But prior to that, Tia was working on a lot of shows. She would put Tamara down to work on shows. They had a show that they were going to do together. And because Tia had a new show coming out, didn't tell Tamara, it kind of left Tamara in a situation where here you are again going off and doing what you want to do without communicating. So I think that may have pulled the relationship between Tamara and the mom a little bit closer, because from hindsight, in my opinion, Tia just seems more independent. She seems like she can do things a little bit more by herself versus Tamara, in my personal opinion, just based off of what I see from their relationship. But hopefully, Tia and her mom can get back on one accord and, work on moving their relationship in a better direction. Not that it's in a bad way that we know of, but just from what it looks like, it doesn't look like it's in the best of places right now. So hopefully they can get that moving in a better direction. So we move on to a pool.
Sister.
Huh?
and get back in a better place with her twin sister.
Well, yes, that's the automatic for me. That just is not even thought.
It's
Like,
weird.
it's very weird. And I think because we're so used to seeing them together all the time, and I think that's probably maybe the hard thing about being in this industry is that we have made them one instead of two individuals, you know, who have their own thing in their own places in this world. So,
you know, Cameron Hall should do a show. She should invite Tia to talk about My Next Act, and then she'd be like, "We got a surprise for you."
you are so messy, just like Tamara.
We got a surprise for you.
That would be so good.
Your mother, your sister, and your brother,
and your sister.
and your brother.
Mrs. Mowry and Tamara, come on out.
Oh, child. You don't want to address it, but we will.
And Tamara is the one to do it because Sherry ain't gonna do that, but Tamara will definitely do it. Okay,
she messy, boots. But yeah, I would love to see that. I would.
Yes, that would be so good. That was funny. That was a good one. All right now. So we're sitting poolside. We have Tia, Sierra, and Natasha. So the gang is all back together again. And so Tia is giving them an update on, you know, Charles and how her second date went. You know, she talked about Charles, you know, he has a daughter. He's really in love with his daughter. He's such a great father. He lights up when he talks about her, you know, and that really, you know, touched Tia's heart. You know, Tia expressed that, you know, it was a great second date. You know, she said that he makes her feel like, you know, she's kind of starting all over again. She's getting those foundational dating tools that she did not experience her first go round because she went from Corey and just right into a marriage. Corey was her first everything. So Charles is kind of giving her a glimpse of, you know, what she missed out on, you know, in her younger years, if you may, and she's really enjoying it. You know, Tia, you know, talked about, or it was brought up between the girls, you know, introducing kids, you know, to people. And so the ladies felt, you should wait till a year, you know, and Tia said, well, that's a long time. But when you really think about it, as Natasha said, a year is really not a long time if you think about it. Once you really get to kind of dating and knowing each other, you know, 6 months be done passed by. So I thought a year was a good, nice time frame, you know, to wait to introduce your children to someone. You know, Tia said that she wanted to tell the girls something else, you know, and it really shocked her and she just didn't know how to feel about it, you know, and the girls thought that he didn't kissed her or done something inappropriate. Well, Tia said, he held my hand, oh my God, when we were walking out. And it just made me feel some type of way I didn't know how to feel because, you know, I'm a very touchy-feely person, but, you know, Corey was not a touchy-feely person. So she was not used to having something like that. So I think the beautiful thing for me is about Tia in this new area of her life is that she's starting to experience the things that she really likes, someone else doing those things as well. It's really different when you're in a relationship and you like something but your partner doesn't like it, so you don't see it come to pass, if you may, versus, you know, dating someone and they're doing something that you like. It just, I could see why she was so geeked up about it, you know, knowing that somebody out here likes something that I like as well. So, you know, she's still giddy and, you know, still into Charles from what we see from this point on. And the girls really seem like that they like Charles as well, you know, and they enjoy that he's treating their friend, you know, with respect and decency. Any thoughts on that?
Sierra and Natasha, no matter who or what Tia wants to date in the future, they need to stay out her business.
Get out the Kool-Aid.
Now, one thing I do agree with is the kids shouldn't be introduced or meet anybody until you are really sure. So, you know, a year is a good gauge. A year is a good gauge. It depends on how your relationship is going, how fast or slow y'all are moving. But I do agree, don't introduce them too soon, too fast, because it could be too much, right? So I did agree with that. But And they was like, Charles holding your hand, like, oh, he doing too much. It's a holding hand. He didn't rip her clothes off. Like, calm down. It's holding hands. It is what is doing too much. Like, I mean, like, calm down, people. People being affectionate, being loving, being caring. You can do all those things, and it could be in a non sexual way. It's just like, you know what, he's making sure, like, let me help you down the stairs. He was holding her hands to help her down the stairs, and he continued to hold her hand. Not that serious. Listen, there's a price to dating a thug. It is. It's a price to pay. Listen, you can want that bad boy if you want to. Listen, you better ask Whitney Houston. She dealt with her bad boy. Okay? You listen, there's a price to dating a thug. And if I had an option between a thug and a non-thug, I would take the non-thug all day long.
We just want to make sure that he ain't trying to do anything for clout. You know, Tia is somebody. So you out here holding my hand in public and stuff. We got to be careful. We don't know this man. We don't want Corey to think nothing crazy. We need Cairo on this show, okay? So we can't give Corey no reasons to snatch Cairo off this TV. So get your hands off Tia. Back up 2 feet. We dealing with a celebrity diva.
Well, she should have went on a celebrity website.
That's true, but this ain't her fault. This is Sierra and Natasha's fault.
Why I told you the next time she goes to dating again, they don't need to be in the business.
Stay out the group chat for sure. I definitely agree with that.
I don't really like the way they moving when it comes to that. The way they moving, she'll be single. She'll be single forever.
Not forever.
Yeah, forever.
Oh my goodness. Well, so now we are with Tia and Cairo now. They are practicing lines for the commercial. I want to say they're in Tia's room. And so, you know, Tia is supposed to be playing Nick and Cairo is supposed to be playing Alex. Well, Cairo wants to be Nick, okay? Cairo really did not seem interested in this specific scene. Maybe another scene would have been a little bit better, but this scene that they were practicing, she was not interested at all, okay? And so as, you know, Tia was trying to finish up with Cairo, Tia had a date to go on. So Jerome, yet again, steps in to help Cairo go through her lines, okay? So Tia is going on now her third date with Charles. And so now I will say I did enjoy this date. This was very different. This date was a pottery class, okay? And so this gave them the opportunity to make their own type of pottery, whatever they would, you know, like. And so that's what they did. And so in the midst of making their pottery, they had some real good conversation. You know, Tia expressed that this was a new experience for her, that she went to a ghetto high school. And so they did
not a ghetto high school.
That's what I said. Not a ghetto high school, but okay. So they didn't have this type of extracurricular activity. You know, Charles asked Tia, you know, about her schooling years. Did her and Tamara go to the same school? Did they have the same classes? You know, she expressed that they did. You know, they had the same classes. They went to the same school together. You know, nobody messed with one, because if you mess with one, you were going to have to mess with two. You know, Tia said that she did, you know, missed out on quite a few things in school, such as prom, but, you know, everything was still okay because she always had her sister by her side. So, you know, it always just kind of made things better. But as well, she was on the set of Tia and Tamara. So that's why she was, or sister. So that's why she wasn't allowed to be, you know, at a lot of school functions and things like that. Let's see. She talked about, you know, Tamara and her having nonverbal communication. And so, you know, Charles wanted to know if he could have the same kind of nonverbal communication with Tia. You know, he wants a partner, you know, that he can understand and that he can see and know and feel, you know, and think, you know, and be ready on, you know, whenever moment that they are. And so Tia decided to ask him, well, Charles, what am I thinking now? And so, you know, Charles took a minute. He said, well, I think you want to go do something fun and, you know, have a good time. And she said, no, I was thinking that you have some beautiful hair, but, you know, anyways, you know, that was a nice little game. So, you know, Charles is not a mind reader at all, but, you know, she's still interested in dating. Charles missed his prom as well, so that was something that they had in common. Charles had just moved to a new school, didn't have a lot of friends, so he just ended up not going. Let's see. I think that was pretty much it for that scene. Anything for those two scenes with Cairo in the commercial and Charles in their second date?
Listen, I knew
Or
when
third.
I knew when Cairo was practicing and all of that, I things wasn't gonna go well. God bless Cairo, okay? in this acting. But I knew from day one that we was on the wrong road, but it's cool, right? Now the ceramics scene was really, really cute. It made me want to go and try to make some ceramics with somebody. Okay. So, I got to figure that out. But anywho, I thought it was a cute scene. I thought it was interesting that they both connected because they didn't go to prom together and he helped her make her ceramic. I thought it was a really nice scene. I really think that Charles is cool.
He's a gentleman.
He's a gentleman for sure.
He's too much of a gentleman for her. And I think it's because he's used to playing the manly role in the relationship.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh, Jesus help us. Well, okay. Listen. Okay, move on. Mm-hmm. Because I cannot.
So, Jerome is napping, and so he gets a call from Tia. And so Tia, shares with him that, she is going to go ahead and get Cairo an acting coach. Tia's manager found a little, audition for Cairo, and so she's going to get the acting coach so that Cairo can practice, and get that in. So that was nice. From there on, we went to lunch with Charles, Natasha, and Sierra just to get a little check-in from the friend group. Charles wanted to see how things were going, if Tia's feeling him or not. And so, they gave a little temperature check-in. Yet again, they're still grilling Charles, trying to get all the information out of him, seeing what type of person he is. Charles wants to be married. He wants to move forward. He's, really moving things fast, to be on his third date with Tia. The girl says, just calm down, chill out, relax. It's, she ain't going nowhere.
He ain't gonna buy no ring. He just telling them that he's not gonna play games with her.
He can't buy no ring or no teacher salary for Tia, but okay. Charles was trying to stay in the running to keep
that Corey didn't have that much money either. Don't do that.
I said she used to be in the man in the relationship.
I cannot.
Charles was to stay in the running to keep dating Tia, so we'll see how that goes. I'll go ahead and tie this scene in as well. The acting coach shows up, Gayla. I believe that was her name, Gayla.
You got it.
Gayla's also in connection to Tia's original acting coach from Sister, which I thought that was amazing. So, there's a little bit of familiarity there. Gayla had a binder for Cairo. Cairo was more interested in coloring on the binder than getting into what the binder had to go on. But, Gayla walked in. She began, with a few speech therapy, if you may, with Cairo just to see kind of where her speech is, see how her rehearsing is, her reading, things like that. Cairo jumped right into it. I thought she did a really, really good job. Tia kind of walked away and just let Cairo do her thing. And she did her thing with the coach. One thing I can say is that Cairo is very respectful. She is a very loving child, very caring. And I love that, for her to be a celebrity child, we see how a lot of our celebrity children grow up. So for her to still have that respectful, nourishing side of her, it was beautiful. Gayla said that she wants Cairo to just kind of work on, still having fun with this, being in tune with it. Let's not make it a job for her. Let's make sure that she's still interested in this and keep on practicing the lines. So Jerome's nap, the lunch, and the acting coach. Your thoughts?
Jerome, I love him. So
Mm-hmm.
he can do no wrong, but I think he knows how to fit in. He know how to do reality TV.
Okay.
Jerome know how to fit in. He was on that couch pretending he was asleep. Boom, he gets a phone call. Okay. And he got right into it.
Come
Shout
on,
out to Jerome.
yes.
Shout out to Jerome. Okay. So Natasha and Sierra meet up with Charles.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was utterly ridiculous because I did. I was like, this is stupid. First of all, y'all already met him because y'all the one that picked him for Tia, right? Out of all these other men, and I thought some of the other men, I didn't find a problem with some of the other men, but hey, y'all picked Charles. Now y'all pick Charles and y'all want to re-pick him and ask him all these questions about what's his intentions, what's this, what's that, so forth and so on. I'm gonna need those two to go sit down. And I'm gonna really need Sierra to go sit down because Sierra don't even have a date. And Sierra is all this judgmental about Charles, but remember, she told Tia, if you don't want him, I do.
Ooh.
You remember that way back at the beginning?
Yes, she did.
At the end of the day, I won't be shocked if we knew Sierra's Instagram, she might be with Charles right now.
I don't think Charles is her cup of tea.
Well, she wanted him, and so I feel like that's what we would see. What's Sierra's name? Let's see if we can find her Instagram. But anywho,
Rodriguez, wasn't it Rodriguez? Because they said it the other day.
You are correct. You are correct because she constantly saying her whole government name. So, and the acting coach, that acting coach gets an A+ because she did not come in that scene to just be showing up and showing out. She came to work. And she actually worked. I like the acting coach. But once again, Cairo showed us during that sort of kind of a little bit that she wasn't really into this thing. She wanted that book and she wanted the color. And she was being kind to her mother by going ahead and, being a part of this scene. But I thought it was okay. Oh, look at Sierra. I like her without her braids.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Cece out here living her best life. Okay, boo?
Mm-hmm.
Come on the yacht. Ooh, okay.
Okay. They take that off the screen, Royaires. But not her Instagram, that the message. From Monique. So I could see her whole Instagram. Yeah, okay. Let me see. Okay, let's see Sierra. Okay, I like it.
This natural hair is everything.
Oh,
yes. She is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Cece. Look, Cece out here been traveling.
Okay, Cece.
Well, all right, dear. Beautiful.
She is.
Well, we don't see Charles on here, so they may not be together right now. So okay.
Or she hiding him.
Oh my gosh. So were there any other thoughts on that last with the acting coach? You finished up?
Yeah, that was it was what it was. It was a thing. It was a scene. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Cairo and Tia go to lunch together, and so Tia decides to, kind of open up with Cairo about her upbringing and, being an actress and how she would practice saying her name and, practicing her lines. And she had her binder, and Cairo was uninterested. Okay, she wanted to eat her grilled cheese and be about her business. Okay, so we move into the audition for Cairo. As I told you earlier, Adam, Tia's manager, found a small part for Cairo to audition for. And so, we're sitting outside of the audition room. Tia is prepping Cairo. And so Cairo seems kind of like she's ready to go in here. She seems like she's ready to put on a show. So the director calls in for Cairo to come in. And so Cairo takes her mark. And so as we're kind of waiting for Cairo to take her mark, she's still kind of pitty-patting around and, moving and spinning and just being a kid, for real, just being a kid.
For real.
And so, the director asked for Cairo to give her opening statement, which was to say her name, and Cairo was not here for it, okay? So she said, well, let's just move on. And so Tia's standing in the back of the corner of the room telling Cairo, practice what we remember, say your name, come on, get it together. And Cairo said, I don't want to be here. I want pizza, okay? And so she twirls her way out the room. room and embarrassing Tia, of course. So Tia apologizes and says, I'm so sorry. You know, the directors seem to be really cool with it. Cairo, you know, runs out the room. She runs behind Cairo and she says, well, Cairo, I thought you wanted to do this. She said, I don't want to do this. Okay. She want to go home and have pizza, cuddle up with her mom, and watch a movie. And so that is exactly what they did. So they went back to the house. Tia got some pizza. She got some blankets. She pulled out a good movie. And so her and Cairo spent some quality time together, which was beautiful. I love the mommy-daughter time together, you know, seeing them be connected and just love on one another and really enjoy their time together with each other was beautiful. In the meanwhile, Tia was supposed to have another date with Charles. And so it slipped her mind, okay? So Charles comes, ring the doorbell, and Tia answers the door, and she was just as shocked as the rest of us. Like, what are you doing here? And she completely forgot that her and Charles had another date. He had a corsage for her, as we talked about earlier. Both of them missed their prom. So I'm assuming he was going to take her on, you know, imaginary prom, if you may. And so they were going to have that time together, but Cairo had a meltdown earlier that day, and so she needed some mommy-daughter time, and so she had to cancel her date with Charles in order to spend that time. Charles seemed to be very disappointed, but I think he was kind of understandable about the situation. And so he went on about his merry little way, and that was the end of that episode. Your thoughts on those last two scenes?
First of all, was I shocked that Cairo wasn't going to be ready for the audition? Absolutely not. Okay. Cairo been giving small little hints that this was not her idea. I feel like they pumped the idea in her head from the beginning, because remember, Jerome asked her one of the babysitting times, he was like, oh, you want to act? She said, what's acting? Mm-hmm. So I already felt like they was trying to pumping that in her head, because I felt like they needed some scenes. Okay. And it was an epic fail. But I do appreciate the way she handled it and was like, okay, we're going to get pizza. So for you to forget a date, no matter what crisis your child had or didn't have, that tells me right up front, you was not that into Charles.
Like we said.
She wasn't into Charles. And what she should have did from the jump was to say, listen, you're a very nice guy, but I'm just not that into you. And that would have saved Charles a whole lot of heartbreak, a whole lot of disappointment on the TV. It's hard enough for people to date Royaires, period. It really is. And even for men, you know, women think about when they get rejected, but the man, for the most part, you know, they're the ones that have to approach females or approach whoever they want to date. And rejection is not easy. Yeah. So now you're dealing with this, and you agreed to be a date on TV. And I thought the way she handled it, I give her a big fat F. If I would have made a mistake and, like, you know, he came to my door like that and I totally forgot, I don't know. I just felt like I might have handled it a little bit differently. I thought it was messy. I thought it was so messy. And you had your daughter before you started dating. And with kids, anybody raising kids, it's always going to be a crisis. So I don't know. I just thought it was messy. And I thought that the way she handled it, I felt like she handled it that way because she had zero interest in him from the jump. And so, you know, Charles went through what a lot of times we as females go through. It's like when somebody's not that interested in you, instead of them being upfront and telling you, they kind of drag things along, and everything you do, you doing everything perfect, because Charles really did nothing wrong. You doing everything perfect, and they find some imperfection in your perfection. And instead of them just coming out and just saying, I just don't want you.
Yeah. She could have been more open about the situation from early on. But I told you, we ain't feeling this man. I told you from the jump, we was not feeling this man. And it ain't nobody's fault but Sierra and Natasha. They picked this man. I told you from the jump when they picked his man that he was not going to be the one for Tia, but nobody wanted to listen to me. So, but that was episode 5. I thought that was a really good episode. Your final thoughts on that? Overall, I'm going to rate it a 7 for the episode.
Yeah, I guess I'll come in nice with you and give it a 7 too, even though I was just like, But I'll be cool and I'll roll with you on the 7. And I'm rolling with you on the 7, Roy. Really, all jokes aside, it's because I love the fact that it's not all of this rah-rah.
Yeah.
I love the fact that it's not all this rah-rah. And since it's not all this rah-rah, I will give it a 7.
Yes, I thought it was a 7 as well. So rolling into episode 6, the last episode of what we're at right now. So this episode is called TV Momma Knows Best. Okay, so we open up this episode. Tia is talking to her manager Adam. He has found a role for her in a movie to audition for. So Tia is excited. She's going in for an in-person audition this time. Tia loves doing acting. She loves being in this business. She added that she tries to add her personal experiences to her characters that she plays. She likes to add in maybe from past characters or her personal life of things that she's experiencing. So Tia opens up about not really liking to audition, and she said maybe it's because she didn't have to audition for Sister Sister. She talked about her brother Taj being on Full House, and so her mom had to take them with her because she couldn't find a babysitter for Tia and Tamara. And so on there they met Kim Bass. And so Kim actually came up with the concept of Sister Sister for them. And so that is how that show started. They started Sister Sister at the age of 13, and it lasted for 5 seasons. So for 5 years, they didn't have to worry about, doing any kind of auditions or anything because they had their own show. So Tia goes into the audition, and so she recognizes the director. He is actually the director from The Game, the show that she starred on, her first big show that she starred on after Sister Sister. And so he dismissed Tia pretty quickly from that role. He said that she really did not fit the role, the character that they were trying to place for the role. She plays the nice girl, if you may, is what he said. And so people still kind of see her in that nice girl role. So it really didn't fit for her. And so, that was a miss. Tia talked about missing her TV family. She misses being on a regular sitcom TV show, having that, consistent check, if you may, rolling in and working with the consistent people. Let's see. From there on, Cairo and Jerome are back. They're cooking in the kitchen. And so Tia goes on talking about how she hates auditioning and, preparing, and how, you have to be prepared to be rejected. That is something that she has experienced a lot in this industry. And so, working, with getting Cairo into this business, she wants to make sure that Cairo can handle the, rejection. She talked about remembering, being rejected a lot in her, younger years after Sister Sister. And so though it was hard for her, it kept her, stamina strong and continuing going for what she wanted to do and things like that. Let's see. Anything else that you would like to talk about in that scene?
Well, I mean, I feel like with the audition part, I think it was good to kind of show, because she's helping other fellow people that may want to go into acting, right? To know that sometimes, because I think no matter what career we're in, sometimes we're just too hard on ourselves, right?
Yes.
And so it was just like to say, listen, don't be so hard on yourself, because sometimes it doesn't matter. You're just not the person they're looking for. So it's nothing you could have done or not done that would have pretty much made a difference in the situation.
Yeah.
So I felt like it was good. I felt like it was a nice re-meet up between her and someone she used to work with. I appreciated the scene for what it did to me to help maybe a fellow person going through this. And especially now that they do a lot of remote. So if you wasn't in the game before they did remote, now you're doing remote, and you really might be questioning yourself like, dang, I'm just not getting any jobs. And, she gave a little bit of insight there, and I appreciated it.
Yes, I agree. she also asked Cairo, did she want to do what mommy and daddy did, be an actress? And Cairo said no. Okay. Cairo has moved on. She's ready to figure out something else. Okay. She good on that. As well, in that scene, Tia received a text from Charles, and Tia has her mind in other places. And so she decided not to respond to the text message from Charles because, she wants to focus on her daughter right now, focus on her career, and focus on herself. So, she left that text message on read from Charles.
Shout out to Charles. Wherever Charles is right now, keep your head up. Keep your head up. He got played.
Listen, we seen a mile away that Charles was not interested. I mean, Tia was not interested in Charles. He should have felt it. He should have known. So it's okay, Charles. You'll be good. It ain't like he an ugly man, so I'm sure somebody will be knocking on his door soon, especially now that he's been seen on TV. So I'm sure somebody will be there. So now we are meeting with Jackie Harry, okay? Jackie, the TV mom from Sister Sister, she played the mother. Lisa Landry from Sister Sister, she played Tia and Tamara's mom. And so Jackie comes over to have a little, quality time with Tia. So Jackie has been a part of her life, like I said, since Sister Sister. The show has been out for 25 years. I think that's crazy. Like, I love Sister Sister, and to think that it's been 25 years since, the airing of that is amazing. Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to get my notes together, people. She met Tia and Tamara, there. That is when she was first introduced to the twins. She talked about a lot of people were not able to tell the difference between them, but she was able to tell the difference between them. Jackie described Tia as being ambitious, as being a career woman, as being the sexy twin. And she described Tamara more as a producer, person who is creative and kind of behind the scenes doing things. Jackie had a convo with Tia and said that when her and Corey got together, she knew that everything was not what it seemed to be, and that she told Tia that you can't have everything all at the same time, but for a while. She talked about she had a husband, her child, and her career for about 3 years. And then after that, everything kind of fell apart. And that, Tia felt seen when she said that, when Jackie told her that. But Jackie really, didn't know what was going on behind the scenes. Eventually, Jackie did kind of find out that there were things going on between Tia and Corey. Tia was making the money and Corey was not making so much money. Tia's star was rising and Corey's star wasn't rising. And so it is hard, to be the partner of an individual whose star is rising, especially, a female and male relationship. It's kind of harder for sometimes a man to accept that his partner or his wife is, going a little bit further than what he is. Jackie said that she knew Corey was unhappy, but she didn't know how long, that was going to go between the two of them. Corey really couldn't handle the fact that, Tia was, more financially stable than her. And to me, this scene really told us a lot about how Corey and Tia kind of ended up where they are today in regards to their relationship. Do you feel you have to pick sides in a divorce?
You do, unfortunately.
Okay.
You have to, so even if you are a couple and you as couples you have couple friends, and maybe it's not you outright saying like, okay, Roy, I'm done with you because I'm siding with your partner. You understand what I'm saying? Because y'all over. But you do have to pick sides, because now when you throw the dinner party, who's coming?
Right.
Who's coming? You know you can't invite both of them, right? Because it's going to be a mess. And so you have to say, okay, well, who's coming? And so on that note, when you choose Royaire over the partner, then you obviously pick sides, because when the partner finds out, oh, you had a dinner party? Oh, Royaire was there? Oh, so we broke up and now you siding with Royaire? You understand? So you do have to pick sides. But what I didn't like what she said is that you can't have it all. You can, but in having it all, you definitely have to have a partner who is not going to be jealous,
yes,
envious of you and about the things that you were doing. So she mentioned, she didn't, because I'm sure they can't really mention his name, but she said, you know, the other person, she said, you know, their issue was that they wasn't working, which I could see that. Here you are, you the man, and I feel like he was home with the kids and Tia was out there doing her things. But if Tia's the one getting the jobs, then what are we gonna do? We gotta eat, we gotta, you know, take care of ourselves, we gotta live. So I think that it started to wear down on him that he was not the breadwinner and that his wife was, right? And so that got them into a bad way. But maybe they should have tried to figure out a way where they have a babysitter or they have, you know, a caregiver. And just in case he does get a job, he could do his job, I could do my job, and we both could be happy.
Yeah.
So, but I really enjoyed the scene with Jackie. She was a breath of fresh air. She knew the truth. And what's interesting is if you go back and see Tia's face when she talks about when Jackie said, "Oh, I saw Tamara," and she's like, "Oh yeah, Tamara's over there in Napa."
I was just with her last week.
Yeah.
The Napa sound like it's up the street to me, so distance don't seem like it's the real issue.
Child.
But
we went through the address why you and your sister, you don't meet her at a coffee shop in this show, nothing. It just, something's amiss, and I guess it will eventually, you know, come out. Tia said it's also hard to believe that Corey was jealous if he got with her when she was a breadwinner. Something is off. I wish we could hear his side. I agree with you. Something is amiss here. But I will say I respect the both of them for not throwing smut out in the social media streets about either one. He don't say nothing negative about her. She don't say nothing negative about him. And I appreciate that. That's why I think Sierra kind of roared me the wrong way when she wanted to bring the wedding dress downstairs.
Yes.
I don't think I ever recovered from that. And maybe that's why I got to try to warm back up to her, because I can't throw her out because of one mistake. But I think just mistake number 2 is her, Natasha, talking about, you know, Charles. Let's just deal with the fact that Tia don't want Charles versus you trying to say he holding a hand too soon or he doing too much or all of that. Just say the truth. Let the truth be the truth. Tia don't like him. That's it. That's all.
Period. Yeah. So Tia also shared in that scene as well that she feels guilty about ending her marriage. Tia talked about growing up in the church. She was saved at the age of 8. And it protected her, but it also put her in a box. And so now she's on a journey of trying to discover who she is as an individual. You know, she talked about, you know, also having Buddhas in her room. And so she's exploring new religions and just new things to see and find out what Tia likes. And so I just love that Jackie was just very supportive and honest with Tia, you know, about, you know, going forward in her life and in her, you know, newfound singleness, if you may, and trying to figure out where to go from here on out. So like you said, I thought that was an excellent scene. Jackie looks beautiful. She looks amazing, still out here in these streets slaying, you know, and I just love that, you know, we were able to kind of get a throwback moment and to see, you know, them back together. If you really watch the show, Sister, they had 2 different parents because they ended up being adopted. And so Jackie was actually Tia's mom in the show. So it was just beautiful having that kind of mommy daughter back together again for old time's sake, if you may. So that was really, really nice. Moving on into that next scene, there was a heart to heart with Charles and Tia, you know. As we've been kind of seeing in that last scene, Tia got a text message from Charles and she just really wasn't ready to respond to it. So it was time for, you know, Tia to have some honest heart-to-heart conversations. So Tia, had to pick up the phone and give a call to Charles, okay? And so Tia, she really wants to focus on her career. She wants to focus on being a mom, and she wants to focus on herself. And she doesn't feel, that all three of those at this time she can handle a man as well, or dating. She just can't handle that. So she feels she needs to let Charles go. So she called Charles on the phone. She put us out the room because everything does not need to be known, according to Tia. So she put us out the room. She called Charles, off camera, and had that moment with him. Tia feels that Charles is just moving a little too fast for her, and so she had to let it go. So after the phone call, Jerome comes in the room, and Tia shared, she had to break things off with Charles, and kind of move on because she wants to focus on herself. Tia is learning to, be okay with the unknown. She's learning to trust herself, and she's trying to learn to listen to herself. Tia really feels like she's in a place of healing, and that healing is taking place as she is moving on in this new journey. Tia wants to become the person that she wants to be with eventually one day. Tia is trying to look inward and figure out herself. And I just really, really love the relationship that Tia and Jerome has. Jerome was, encouraging Tia in that scene as well, letting her know that it's okay that you don't want to be with this guy. It's okay that you want to focus on yourself. It's okay because a lot of the times in your loneliness, that is where you receive your healing. That's where you receive your answers and, kind of figuring out where to go from here on out. So I thought that was a really beautiful scene. Anything on that?
I think
you are so petty.
I feel like I'm glad she's finally spoke to Charles. But I really feel at the end of the day, it has nothing to do with priorities, acting, this, that, and the other. I feel like, what was it, a movie or book? He's just not that into you.
Mm-hmm.
She just was not that into Charles. She wasn't. And she should have just said that. It wasn't about, you dragged them along, you strung them along for these 3 dates. And 3.5 because 1 you forgot about. Okay. He showed up on your door. He looked so sad at that door. I would have told them, cut that scene out of this show. Take all your money back. Matter of fact, cut me out of the show, period. Take all your money back. I just feel like, I don't know. I just was like, I thought it was messy, but I do appreciate that she finally told him. I will say that. I do appreciate that she finally told him. That's all I could say.
Yeah. Monique said, wasn't the whole show about she was alone and she felt lonely and then she got with somebody and then she realized that she needed to be alone? I'm so confused.
Come on, Monique. I'm on that page with you. It was BS. It was BS. Oh. Now all of a sudden, like you woke up and realized, no, it's okay for me to be alone. Girl, don't be taking me on your roller coaster ride journey if you're not ready to date. You sitting in your house crying, you so lonely. Your girlfriend had to come spend 3 nights with you because you was lonely and not used to nobody not being in, the kids. Then you get Charles, who's totally interested in you. He's a nice guy. He's holding your hand. He's walking you to the car. He's making sure you don't fall down the steps when you leave at a restaurant.
He's just not that guy. We just not that into him, period. Like you said.
So you want to tell him at the one day, I like your hand, you touching it. You confused them. At the pottery thing, you let him sit behind you and mold the ceramic.
Well, that's when she realized that he wasn't the one. He wasn't sitting behind her right. I told you, Tia want a bad boy. She wants somebody that's going to grab her up and choke her by the neck, okay?
Oh,
So we're walking outside. We have Natasha, Sierra, and Tia. And so they're talking about Charles. Tia has broke the news that she has broken things off with Charles. She talked about how he showed up to the last date to her house. And so the girls asked, you gave him your address, you allowed him to show up to the house. And that's what I was kind of like, what too? Like, we only on our fourth date, and you a celebrity and you just giving out your address to people. You can totally tell that Tia is not with this dating scene. Like, she's not into it just yet. Okay. So, she talked about how she had to cancel the date because, Cairo was just, having a day and she wanted to be with mom. Tia told the girls, that she broke things off with Charles and that Tia just didn't want to lead him on anymore. So that's why she moved on and broke things off. Tia and Jerome are having their last dinner. Jerome is getting ready to leave town. Jerome has been here for 2 weeks now. And so it's time for Jerome to pack up and head on out the house. Okay. So, again, I love Jerome. We love Jerome over here. He has been such an asset to this show. For sure. Tia opens up about how she just appreciates Jerome so much. She misses him when he's not here. Cairo and Jerome have built a beautiful connection. Cairo loves Jerome, as Tia tells us. Tia wants Jerome to come at least every 3 months, and stay 2 weeks out of those 3 months, or out of that time frame that he stays. Jerome is the honorary therapist to Tia and Tamara. Tia talks about how Jerome has just been so supportive and with her through some of her most toughest times in life, especially through this divorce. Tia opens up and said when, she was going through her divorce that Jerome was the most safest place for her to be. He was non-biased. He was just there to support Tia through, her decision of deciding to leave Corey. Tia feels that Jerome has been a safe space for her, and he truly appreciates her. And Jerome is proud of the growth and the work that Tia has done. And so he's just, glad to be able to see that Tia is moving forward in a positive direction. She's, working on herself, working on her children's relationship, and just being in a positive, healthy space. Hopefully Jerome can get her to a place as well where he could work on Tia and Tamara's relationship. Now, I don't know how far he wants to get into that, because the last time we decided to do that, Jerome was kind of just stuck in the middle and didn't know what to do. So maybe he's going to keep his foot out of that. But anything on those two scenes?
Well, I appreciate it how Jerome came into our lives, and how his exit was, and how he made the pancakes for Cairo. I need a Jerome in my life. Where's Jerome? Where's Jerome at? Can we rent him out? I mean, Jerome is just an absolute sweetheart, and I think that when she talked to Sierra and Natasha about Charles showing up at the house. He had the address. You missed the date. He wanted to make sure you were still breathing and alive and the truck didn't hit you. and I felt like, because at the time, I want to say, wasn't Jerome still there? He didn't leave yet, right? Jerome didn't leave yet. So why couldn't you just say, Jerome, could you hang out with Cairo for a minute, invite him in, have a glass of wine, apologize for, whatever, and then send him on his way. But she knew that night that's how she forgot. She knew that night she was done with Charles. And and hopefully when Charles walked away with the, without, her Charles. Hopefully he knew too that she just was not that into him. She
for the streets, Charles. Don't worry.
She for the streets. And listen. I like Jerome. There's nothing else to say. I thought it was great scenes. It was a great scene. Yeah.
Excellent scenes. So let's see. Where are we? So Jerome makes his famous chocolate chip pancakes for Cairo. he lets Cairo know, hey, I have to head out, but it was wonderful being with you. Cairo gave her same sentiments. She gave Jerome a big old hug and said, are you going to come back? And he said, yes, I will be back. So I love that they have built such a beautiful connection in just the 2 weeks that he was there. Moving into the last scene, we are having a ladies' night, okay? So Tia has been very appreciative of, all of the ladies as far as Natasha and Sierra is concerned, them being there for her. And so she's decided to have a ladies' night for them. She has hired a celebrity chef, Chef Richard. And so Chef Richard made some beautiful meals. And the girls were just able to kind of sit and talk and just, catch up. Tia wanted to say thank you to Sierra for, just being there for her mental. Sierra is always making sure that Tia is mentally stable. She's not going down a rabbit hole, making sure that, she's, on her P's and Q's as far as her work and things like that. And then she wanted to thank Natasha because Natasha was really the person there for her when Corey and her separated and the children went, to stay with Corey for the first time. Tia was lonely and just crying and didn't want to be by herself. Natasha was in a relationship. Tia called her. She packed up her bags immediately and came and stayed with Tia for 3 days. So, I will say, even though they are trash for her dating life, as far as friendship standpoints, they are very supportive of Tia and they are really good friends. Now, I don't always believe in fraternizing with the workers, but Tia seems to be okay with fraternizing with her worker. So if it works for her, it works for me. Anything on that, Diva?
You're a whole fool. Listen, wait. Cue up Chef Richard's website. He seemed like he's pretty cool and like he know how to cook. Okay. So I thought it was a really nice thing that she did for them. And I will lean back a little bit and say you are absolutely right. They need to stay out her dating life business, but she's going to have to facilitate that. But in terms of friendship, I do feel like they're really, really good friends. I do think she's blaring the line, so to speak, by having Sierra be her assistant and close friend. Because then when Sierra don't do something right, being that you so friendly with her, how do you correct her? It kind of muddies the waters, right? Mm-hmm. But I will give it to her that I thought the luncheon and the thing she had set up for them was really nice. I thought it was a great thing. I could pull it up if you want me to. You got it?
Yes, can you? Because I don't see where I didn't.
Okay, yeah. I'll pull it up real quick so we can kind of end with this. Okay. Yes. Come on, chef. The food looking good.
Ooh, oh yes.
Don't it look good?
Oh my God.
You ain't lying right there. I mean, he cooking it up. It looked like he got a cookbook out called Love.
Okay.
In case y'all want to get the cookbook. That looked like some type of dessert right there. Oh, banana pudding cheesecake. But oh shoot. This man cooking up the food.
Girl, we may have to hook you up with the chef so we can get some free food.
Ciao. Okay, now let's see what else he got going on. Oh, he messed with he's at the Wayne.
Okay, come on, LeBron. Is that LeBron James?
No, that's the Wayne Wade.
Oh, that's Wayne. Okay. You know I don't know the people.
Ooh, that's Gabby husband. That's Gabby husband. Gabriel Union, her man. Okay, come on, look at this. This is good, right? Oh, the man know how to cook. It just look like some waffles, waffles
with some pecan nuts and some blueberries. Ooh.
Oh, this man know how to cook. All right, we may have to. He look like he making some shrimp there. Okay. No, he deal with the celebs. He probably cost a pretty penny, Royaires. Look at the fried shrimp and the waffles. Oh, come on now, sir. Not for your kitchen, but for your life. Oh, shoot. Okay. Chef Richard Graham. All right. Oh, he got his cookbook. Let me see what he's saying. Let's see what he's saying real quick.
Over 175 copies already since the book has come out. This is such a passion project for me. 2 years in the making. It's jam-packed with so many pictures, so many stories of me growing up, the different women who have influenced me in my life with cooking and their stories. my grandmother Brown, my aunt's sister. I have such great stories about my father in here. And then also, it's just jam packed with all of these recipes, that everything that you guys have ever asked for, as far as a recipe from off of Instagram and some other things that I thought that would be great in the book as well. These QR codes are out of this world. It takes you straight to Instagram, straight to some of the inspirational things that I speak sometimes. It's packed full of information. It's just a book of just what the title says, love. Go ahead and go to Amazon, go get it, and please send a review. Put a review down so I know exactly how you feel about the book. And thank you so much again. And spread the love. Spread the love. Thanks so much.
Shucks now. Spread the love now, people. Okay.
All right, love.
Love.
I can't with you.
Listen, I'm gonna go see how much the book is. You know, we support. We like to support. No one's here ain't trying to, come hit up upside the head with it. Let me see. Love cookbook before we close out for you. Let me see how much this book is.
Yes. Well, as you look in, I will go ahead and just, get us prepared. This was an amazing episode. I totally enjoyed this episode. It was so sad to see Jerome leave, but thank you, Jerome, for coming through for these last 2 weeks. You did an amazing job. You made the show hilarious. You made it light. You made it fun. He
want $47 for love.
I didn't pay $47 for Michelle and Obama's book, so I definitely can't do that.
I don't know what he cooking in there, but that
woo.
I may have to ask somebody for that for Christmas. They look at love. 47. What is it? Good child. Let me go down.
Not $46.99.
$46.99.
I had to wait till Prime Day.
Listen, all we getting is free delivery on Prime Day.
Oh my God.
It ain't coming to the 21st or the 22nd. So we can't even maybe it's coming before Thanksgiving. Child. Well, as a personal chef to NBA Hall of Fame, Dwayne Wade and family. Oh, no wonder he was cooking for Dwayne Wade.
Well, that was episode 6, TV Momma Knows Best. I thought overall that was a really good episode. I really enjoyed this episode. I'm going to give this episode a 9. I truly enjoyed it, and it's given a 9 because Jackie came through and she slayed the TV. She really, really did. Jerome gave some, she did. Jerome gave some amazing advice as well during, after she broke up with Charles. He came through with the great advice, and I love that last scene of her coming through with the girls and just showing how much she appreciates them for doing everything that she does or that they do for her. So I thought that was really, really nice as well. Next week, it looks like we're going to Vegas, right? I think we're going to Vegas next week, so we will have an episode next week. So stay tuned. Friday nights on WeTV at 10:30, 9:30 Central, I believe it is. So your final thoughts on anything?
Because of you, and you reminded me that Jackie came on the Enslaved because, Tyrone made his exit just as clean as he slid it on in. He slid it on out. Oh, shit.
You want the people to call on Tyrone?
Where I get Tyrone from? Listen, that darn love book threw me off. $46.99
for $50.
I'm sorry, Jerome. I love you. Jerome made his exit just as clean as he made his entrance. And I do love the end, how she celebrated her friends with the chef and the good food, good food. So on that note, I'm going to go with Lexi and I'm going to give it an 8+. Okay. I can't muster up a 9 now, but I will give it an 8+. And they said, Diva, you could wait till the book goes down in price. Amazon usually knocks off a few dollars. Just put the book in the cart and monitor the price. Come on now with the tips.
Come on, advice. Yes.
Okay, yes, I will put the book in my cart then. But I gotta be sure when I go to buy something else, I don't hit checkout. Child, I'm gonna pass
I can't.
I had that book in that I hit check out. Ooh, child. But yeah, so I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm.
Excellent. It was a beautiful episode. This is a beautiful show. I love the positivity. I love the, light drama that it's giving. It's just a nice little fresh breath of air for reality TV, excuse me. So y'all stay tuned with us. As you know or may not know, we have been recapping Real Housewives of Potomac. We are going to try to recap the newest episode coming on tonight, on tomorrow. Are you off tomorrow?
No.
Oh man, okay. Well, well, we're gonna try to recap it tomorrow, so stay tuned, and we will definitely let you know. Like I said, we are also recapping Tia My Next Act, so make sure you stay up to date with that on WeTV Friday nights at 9:30. We have also recapped the Braxtons, so if you have missed the Braxtons, go back and check out our recap from the Braxtons. That was a beautiful show. I want to say it was 8 episodes, so hit that like button on all of those episodes, and make sure you stay tuned with us. Any final thoughts for you, Auntie?
No, I like what you said. Tia Mowry's My Next Act is definitely a breath of fresh air. So y'all should check it out. But you know what, and Roy and I, we promise you at some point, maybe before the show ends, we'll get on a regular schedule. Maybe. We're doing the best we can. Don't judge us. But listen, guys, thank you for everything. Go ahead and close us out, Roy here.
We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Make sure you hit the like button on both of our channels. We are live on both of our channels. So make sure you go over to Chronicles of the Grey-Haired Diva. Hit that like button. And if you're not a subscriber, make sure you subscribe and turn that notification bell on all. That way you see each and every time she goes live or posts a video. As well, over here, hit that subscribe button and the like button and the notification bell. Make sure you share our content. We love coming out here and, recapping our show and spilling our tea with you all. So make sure you're sharing the content, and then also leave comments down below on our videos. We do go back and read the comments and try to respond as much as we can. So we appreciate y'all. Stay tuned, keep that notification bell on all, and we will catch y'all next time. Love y'all, appreciate y'all. Bye.
Royaires World.